Woo! Ric Flair. And we are live for episode 15. Look out. What's going on? What's going on? What's up, people?
What's happening?
Imani.
Yes.
How you doing? What's going on? Let people know what's up.
Did I tell y'all, was it last week when I said like Korean fried chicken was the best chicken ever?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
did you say that on air?
I think I did.
I don't know. Yes. I remember you saying that. But continue.
If I didn't say it on air, y'all, Korean fried chicken, I love black people, but we don't fry chicken like them. It's lit and it's amazing. I went to that same restaurant today and I got fried cauliflower. And boy, is nothing better than chicken.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to make that known. Chicken is amazing. It was tasty, but it was not like, it just didn't hit the same. And I feel bad for vegans because they don't know.
Man, that
Korean fried
all
chicken
over the place.
is definitely like up there.
It is. Yo,
it does slap though. I can't even lie.
Wait, y'all knew and didn't tell me?
I mean, you brought it up and we just agreed. We didn't debate you on it.
I don't know. I thought I was putting y'all on, but apparently y'all was holding out. That's what I just heard.
Oh, I thought you before
Korean
last
barbecue?
week you hadn't had it?
No.
Try Korean barbecue. That's the next one.
I've had Korean barbecue, but I never had Korean fried chicken. I'm not the biggest fan of Korean barbecue is very heavy on pork. I'm not the biggest fan of it. And also I've been to one of those Korean barbecue spots where you cook in front of yourself and you can't do leftovers. Like they don't let you take it home. You got to eat what you get there. I don't like that.
See, look in the South, anytime somebody comes up and says that they can cook fried chicken, we have to try it.
I mean,
we just have to. We gotta see what they about.
So basically, y'all got secrets. And
no, it's just we just heard. We all right, Korean fried chicken. All right, let's go see what this about. All right, pretty good. Next, moving on. We just, that's the bar. We expect to taste good fried chicken when it's cooked. Mm-hmm. And so when it's cooked and the fried chicken's good, we don't say that. And that's the expectation. Now, if it's bad, we come in to flame you.
Okay, so sometime this week, there's a kind of food that you were like, oh, that was good. I need to know about it. Okay, just send me messages. You got JBM YouTube, y'all. I appreciate you for putting me on to fried mangoes. That's not what I'm talking about, but thank you.
Organic fried mangoes.
Dry.
Oh, okay. I misread that. All right. I was about to say, well, hold on. That is an oxymoron. That makes no sense.
There's organic oils though, so you could probably fry mangoes organically.
But what is you defeating the purpose if you're frying it? Is my point.
No, organic is all about how it's grown. It has nothing to do with its preparation. As long as you're not.
Doesn't frying change the chemistry and all that though? It's
I mean, if that's the case, cooking does in general because cooking applies heat. So as soon as you warm up something, you're technically modifying it.
So I mean, I can't refute that claim. So I'm gonna let you have that one, Mr. Loaf. What's going on, sir? Because I really can't refute that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm no chef.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Is a genetically modified organism. So that's like them in a lab doing something to create a seed that's going to grow a plant that has the characteristics that they want. That's why GMO apples and pears and lettuce, they're all bigger and sometimes more sweet, but the flavor is not as natural because it's genetically modified.
But so technically, anything that's farmed is a GMO.
Most of the stuff that's farmed in the US is because Monsanto is a B word, but you can
no, but look, no, because what I'm saying, the process of agriculture in general makes anything that you grow within that process a GMO because it's not growing in its natural state. You're now harvesting and creating land for it to grow. And so now you're adding, like, even if you do it organically, like, because there are certain plants that you can grow with other plants that act as pesticides.
So
without applying
GMO
chemical,
refers to
that still qualifies as a GMO.
not as far as like what's organic and what's not. Like
Organic is different though.
growing something and like using another plant that is also organic to help grow the original plant, that's one thing. But like in a lab, messing with the cells and messing with the genetic makeup of the plant creates a GMO. So anytime there's anything genetically modified involved in that process, whether you're using pesticides, whether you're using GMO seeds, all that counts as GMO. Organic is you put the seed in the ground, the seed has never been genetically modified in a lab, had any chemically thing done, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. One is done naturally, one is the white man. All right. So GMO foods are the white man trying to make money and not necessarily caring about what we're putting in our bodies.
But I'm saying, yes, you are correct. But there's also ways to do it organically, the same process. Like if
say that word one more time.
Let's say
the word organically one more time.
What?
Apparently you can deep fry organic vegetables.
Let's do it.
All I'm saying is if you have a tree, right, that yields larger fruit than the rest of the trees that you've planted, you can harvest just the seeds from that tree and grow those, and those plants will be larger than the rest of your crop, and that technically qualifies it as a GMO.
Not to the FDA.
Okay, if we're gonna use the FDA standards,
the GMO is their term.
Bro, okay, but I understand that the FDA is what has approved a lot of everything that is wrong with our food in the first place. So if we're using their standards,
I mean, listen, I eat GMO.
Oh, we all do. That's what I'm saying. Organic, but the organic process is where where it's different, because you can do it organically or you can modify it in a lab, but they're both still considered GMOs.
Both.
It's the process that makes it. The process is what makes it healthy, because when you synthesize a larger fruit rather than grow it naturally and then just select that naturally grown plant and continue to breed that one in a natural process, though that both those processes are GMOs, but one is just an organic version and then the other is a synthetic process.
Okay.
It's the process that makes it unhealthy. Or
we got to put a
I am talking about when you go to the grocery store.
You're talking about the synthetic process.
Organic, and
yes.
Some say organic, some do not. You are philosophizing, or whatever the word is.
I am bringing the people the truth is what I am doing. I'm trying to look out for my brothers and sisters out here. Because you can't buy everything that just says organic. Like you
I'd say the best thing you can do is grow it yourself and know where your seeds are coming from. If you're buying anything from a grocery store, you really have no idea what you're getting unless you work for the farm and unless you own the farm that grew it in the first place.
Big facts. Yeah. Anyway, we are 10 minutes into the show and we had a GMO and that wasn't even on the docket. JBM, what's going on, sir? We didn't get him.
I just been growing my own food lately.
Yeah. Okay, so that was your brand of dried mangoes.
Yeah. I make my own dried organic mangoes.
Oh, where can we get that? Is that for sale?
Costco.
Oh, that's your brand?
You got a JBM brand?
You got to deal with Costco.
Bro, why are we just now? When did this come?
Hold up.
It's all recent.
We 15 shows in.
You got to deal with Kirkland?
Yeah.
See, we need to have some off-air conversations.
What's up, Ma?
What's up?
Oh man, we got a live show today. I love it. Okay. So on the docket, we got a lot. Well, we don't really have a lot to talk about. We got some big news topics.
We got things to talk about.
We got Static Shock, Michael B. Jordan coming in to produce Static Shock, a live action Static Shock for Warner Brothers DC. And we've also got a rumor going around that's caught some legs. I don't think this has been officially confirmed. All I know is that the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield have been in talks with Disney, Marvel, and Sony in reprising their roles as Spider-Man to come back into the MCU in a live action Spider-Verse or Spider-Man 3, which is turning out to be a different rendition of the Spider-Verse. We'll talk about that later in the show. But right up at the top, what we're going to talk about is Michael B. Jordan news. Static Shock.
Right.
What are our thoughts, man? What's everybody think about
this? Excited to
news?
see that. Yeah,
I'm excited too.
Yeah, the old show was. I love that old show, Static Shock. So see it in the live action.
Yeah,
that'll be dope.
The Cartoon Network animated. Wasn't that on Cartoon Network?
I don't think it was on Cartoon Network.
I think I saw it on Cartoon Network. I don't know if it originated on, but I think that was like one of the first Black superheroes that I remember seeing as a child. Yep. That and Blade.
Blade was probably my first.
I don't know which one I saw for. It was probably, I want to say Blade because that came out in the 90s, and I feel like I saw Static Shock in the early 2000s.
Yeah, it came out in 2000.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. I'm trying to find out what station it aired on.
I'm trying to find out too. It was on Kids WB, so that in New York, New Jersey, and the surrounding area. Channel 11.
Gotcha.
And you know why I got that's okay. See, remember I told y'all several episodes ago, I think it was the episode where we had Gabriella on when we were talking about all the shows coming to Netflix. UPN was essentially a Black station, and it had shows like One-on-One. It had The Game. It had the names escape me, but mad Black shows. And then it was purchased by Warner Brothers, and they got all the Black people up out of there. And if Static Shock started in 2000 and only was on for 4 seasons, that sounds about right.
So I must have picked up on it because I feel like I watched it on Cartoon Network because I don't think I watched Warner Brothers and WB Kids growing up. That wasn't in my wheelhouse of channels. It was Nickelodeon, Nick Jr., Cartoon Network definitely, and I avoided Disney Channel. It was I couldn't do it.
Dang, love Disney Channel.
Nah, it was too like I don't know what it was. It's like all the live action Disney shows were like all of the actors were loud, and it was like I don't understand why everyone has to be screaming.
Yeah, the corn and the mayonnaise in it. It was full of corn and mayonnaise.
Real quick, can I just mention?
Oh my God!
So there was a movie on Disney Channel, and I cannot remember the name, but it was about a Black family. The main character was a Black girl, and their family was getting a foreign exchange student from Africa, right? And they were so hyped. Like they had the house decorated in kente cloth. It was a Disney movie. They had the house decorated in kente cloth. Like they were practicing Swahili. And then the girl shows up at the airport, and it's a white girl from South Africa.
Oh man!
This is a Disney movie. I will never forget it. I gotta look up the name. And I want to say hilarious. I don't remember the commercials for it, but I remember watching it because I remember being hyped for it, and watching it being like, no, they didn't. But the family was just as pissed as I was at home. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there when you mentioned mayonnaise. Don't mind me.
That's wild. Yeah, I'd like to know what show that was. A movie.
It was a movie. It was a Disney movie.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'm not familiar with that. Like I said, I tend to avoid Disney Channel. But yeah, I digress. Yeah, OG man. Coop, what's going on? Get back to the comments. And Ronnie, what's up?
What's happening?
What's
So yeah, synopsis of the show for anyone who hasn't been. Anybody want to run down what the show is, what Static Shock is, who Static Shock is, what it's about?
Don't ask me. Only because I didn't really watch it, but I knew it was on.
Okay.
But I'm excited to learn Static Shock's story through the new Michael B. Jordan project.
Mm. The way I remember it, he was basically a Spider-Man. They got
yeah. I would agree with that. I would agree. That's kind of sort of how he was positioned in the show, the way I remember as well. He was very young. I want to say
young hip kid.
Yep. I remember he had a hoverboard, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he used to, or no, I think it was or was it just a regular board that he used static to make it levitate? I think that's how it worked. I don't think it was like I don't think it was powered by. I think he powered it. But he's pretty cool. Super. I wish we had Lou on because he would be able to explain.
He would definitely know more than us.
Yes, he would.
But I remember watching it on and off, and it was a really cool animated series. I think the X-Men and everything else were on at the same time, and so I was into that a little bit more than Static Shock. And like I said, I don't remember seeing it all too often. And I feel like the episodes I did watch came on Cartoon Network. But I did like the character, and so I'm definitely interested in seeing him be brought to life in live action and brought into the DCU.
Show. Yeah, definitely a fun show.
Yeah, I enjoyed every single episode that I saw come on, and then I was also deep into Dragon Ball Z at the same time and other shows, but yeah.
I'm checking HBO Max right now to see if it's on there.
And he was he inhaled some mutagen gas, and that's how he got the electromagnetic powers.
It's not on HBO Max. It's currently only available on DC Universe, and I'm wondering if that's a good idea, especially since this news came out. Like, I would think that a lot of people would want to go watch it, and since HBO Max is so big right now, why not just have it on there?
They probably are contractually obligated to keep it on DC Universe for its contract probably has to expire first if it's running on DC Universe, because it's owned by Warner Brothers, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, so they're just going to let that contract expire and they'll bring it back. They'll bring it into HBO. I guarantee you.
You know, I never considered that.
Yeah, like
so what else is on DC Universe that I'm missing out on?
That's a great question. I don't really know. I've never seen DC Universe.
Is that why I can't watch The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises?
That's a good question. I don't know. Is DC? I thought that would have been on. That's not on HBO Max. Those aren't on HBO Max.
Only The Dark Knight is, not The Dark Knight Rises, or only Batman Begins, not Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises.
If a streaming platform or any other streaming distributor has an exclusivity right to a property for X amount of years, then even if it is something that Warner Brothers owns or doesn't own, it doesn't really matter. If they have exclusivity over that title, then no one else can get it until that contract is expired, unless DC wants to void its own contract, which they probably won't do, especially if this movie probably isn't going to get, in terms of Static Shock, isn't going to be in production anytime soon. It might, it could expire at the end of the year, and if that's the case, then it's just really no point in voiding the last few months just to bring it on HBO Max. Like, if they can build up a marketing campaign for it between now and the end of the year, for it to release on HBO Max or something. But that's probably what the issue is with the Batman movies, the Nolan films, because if they have an exclusivity right, then they're definitely going to, they won't have it on their own platform until that contract is honored.
It just seems like maybe bad time to release the news. I mean, we don't know when that deal is going to be up, but I can't. Me personally, I would love to watch the Static Shock show, but I have no interest in paying for DC Universe, especially when I pay for HBO Max and there's so much DC content in it. It's kind of like, why bother? So it kind of stinks.
Oh, wait, you're talking about the Static Shock show?
Yeah.
Oh no, they released this. This is good PR. Like they did this so that we can get hype and talk about it.
What am I trying to say? I think it's great that they released the news. I think it's bad that it's not available on anything except DC Universe, because I can't see
because you can't
putting money into DC Universe to see it, but I can see people putting money into HBO Max specifically because of Static Shock, like because there's so many more things that HBO Max has to offer. Yeah,
I don't know what properties DC Universe has on, and they may be getting ready to do away with it, depending on if they're planning to move everything to HBO Max, which is a smart move. And if that's the case, then it's just they're in the process of a transition period.
I did look. It looks like most of the stuff that's on HBO Max is also on DC Universe. As far as
that doesn't make sense.
Like you can watch
DC Universe can stand alone. Like
because
they don't have enough content.
Yeah, Disney X. So like that was like Disney XD, but Disney got rid of Disney XD when they launched Disney Plus, because that Disney XD was their online platform where all of their content pretty much was housed before Disney Plus was released. So it sounds like DC Universe is the same thing as Disney XD, and why HBO didn't or Warner Brothers. Well, is that AT&T? But AT&T bought Warner Brothers, so I don't know why they kept DC Universe.
Yeah, I have no idea about this ownership situation.
I will say I've never seen an ad for DC Universe ever, except for during the DC FanCon thing. So the only thing I can think of is that you're right. They plan on phasing it out and they just haven't done it yet.
Yeah, because like if let's say they have like, their own types of like exclusive content, like shows, back behind the scenes footage, like interviews, stuff like that. That's kind of like real insider. They would probably want to figure out what they want to keep and what they want to phase out, what they want to add to the HBO Max platform and what they don't. But that should have all been on the table before the HBO Max rollout, unless they were like, this really isn't a priority for us. So we're going to move everything that we feel the fans want to see on this HBO Max platform over, and then the rest we'll figure out later. And so it probably Static Shock was one of those shows that was left in the bin until this news broke.
Black man behind.
Yep. And then I don't know what the subscription numbers are for like DC Universe, but I'm pretty sure that whoever is subscribed isn't paying much attention to Static Shock, the animated show from early 2000s. Because if it was getting a lot of views on DC Universe, then they probably would have moved it over. I think they moved over the shows that were getting the most views, and that just kind of sort of speaks to the whoever their subscribers were on the platform.
It won't tell me how much it is until I sign up. They're not slick.
Oh, they don't have the price available?
I don't see it anymore.
So they legit trying to have their own streaming service.
I've never seen an ad for it though, so they can't be $7.99 per month. That's more than Disney Plus. They are tripping. And the free trial is only 7 days. It's usually 15 with stuff like that. No.
Nah, the Disney Plus trial was 7 days.
You know, it's because I got
That's probably where Disney got it from.
Got you. Well, DC Universe is $7.99 per month, and I think that's a little expensive.
Yeah,
that was Netflix's original price.
The $7.99.
Yeah.
I mean, for what they have, that's kind of like that is kind of steep.
It should be $3.99.
What's the service called again?
DC Universe. You have to type in. I found it by typing in Static Shock, and then there was a link there to go watch it. Because if you just type in DC Universe, apparently that's a video game, and that's what pops up.
It is.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. DC Universe Online. I didn't know that. Sound kind of cool though. Massive multiplayer online game.
It is terribly disappointing.
Damn.
I have played it. It's horrible. It's horrible. That it's actually been out for probably a decade now. It's terrible. It's pretty
That's
bad.
a long time to have a bad game just continue to run.
Yeah, they have Marvel has a similar one for but it's Champions Online, and it's like a lesser known part of the I think Champions is Marvel.
It is.
Okay, so
there's a phone version too.
Champions. Yeah. So that one is terrible too, and it's they're basically the same game, and the execution was horrible. Like you can't for it to be a superhero game, you don't ever feel like a superhero. It is it's terrible.
It's like less violent Mortal Kombat, right? But corny.
You can't even compare it to Mortal Kombat. It's like a less violent Street Fighter. Because Mortal Kombat is like that's like the upper echelon of, you can't even put it on. Don't even put those in the same category. Like you gotta get to a lower baseline than that to compare DC Universe, because that game is terrible.
Also, Rhonda got the name for the movie. It was called The Color of Friendship. Right? And let me check to see if it's on Disney Plus, because y'all need to see the black girl's face when the white girl walked off the plane.
I think I may have seen like that memed on Twitter.
Honestly, it would make a great meme, and I'm sad I missed out on it.
Yeah, because it's not terribly like, it doesn't sound like. It sounds like I've heard of this before, but I don't think I've seen it. You know?
That was then.
That was then.
It's kind of dark, but yes, see the.
But
yeah, I don't know what that is.
She was not happy at first. Let me tell you, she was like, yeah, what the heck is that?
I don't know. That doesn't look familiar.
They went to the airport dressed up like black people got dressed up to go watch Black Panther. To go pick up the girl. Funny. And she walked off the plane in like her school uniform, like she went to a private school. That's what she got off the plane with, and they like ready to embrace her with great kente cloth and head wraps and sandals. It was.
Oh man, they had no idea.
None. Which in hindsight is just real dangerous.
Yeah. How you not know?
People in 2000.
Yeah. But that's not. But did they know that she was coming from South Africa? Because kente is not a. That's not a. Is that South African?
I don't remember.
I don't think it is.
I don't remember, but I wouldn't put it.
I don't think that's a South African pattern.
First of all, if a person was coming from South Africa, I'm wearing what I got on right now. Like,
that's true. Exactly. There's no point in America. No point in freaking trying to. Yeah. That was because you might be offensive. Yeah, you might be putting on something offensive.
I mean, the white girl was, I don't know what she was expecting, but she wasn't expecting that. But I would say the black family was a little bit more uncomfortable. I remember the mom and the daughter, and they had the house decorated like the way people decorate their houses when somebody's coming home from war. But imagine that, but like every African print you can imagine. I should watch it now just to make myself angry, because I'm sure the acting is bad.
Yeah, that's.
Man.
Right there.
So before we do y'all have any like fan casting for Static Shock character? Is there anybody you want to see? Because I know he's a younger hero. Is there anybody, any actors that y'all want to see portray this character in live action?
The kid from Stranger Things.
I've been seeing him pop up a lot on
he was popping up before they announced it, like for maybe 2 years now. I've been seeing him, especially since he grew his hair out.
Yeah.
I've been seeing that for a while. I'm gonna get his name now, but yeah, I'm not opposed to that at all. But I love the actor. His name is Caleb McLaughlin.
Yeah, he's a good actor. That's a great choice.
Now he's grown his hair out even more. But I wouldn't be mad if they put somebody new on.
Yeah,
he might look too old now.
Yeah, it really depends. Yeah, it depends on where they want to put the character. Like if he should be like, closer to high school age, or is he closer to middle school? Like it depends on the age that they want to go for. But I wouldn't mind him, and I definitely wouldn't mind the unknown.
His height on Google is 5'9", and I'm pretty sure they lying. He could play a high schooler for the next 10 years.
Is he still in high school though?
He's 19.
So he's still in that
y'all
age.
did not think he was 19. So he's about to be 19 years old playing somebody that's in middle school or Stranger Things. That's crazy.
They did a time jump.
He was that age.
Yeah. The next season is a time jump. Like they're because like the last season they hinted that it was going to be. Yeah, they hinted that after season 2, I think that they're going to do a time jump.
I didn't finish it. I was stressed out by the show, so I'll finish that eventually.
Oh. My bad. Spoilers.
No, okay. I mean, you didn't tell me what happens, but the time jump would make a lot of sense since they're kids. I always wondered like how they handle that, so that's good to know.
Yeah, I think they acknowledged that too at one of the Comic-Con panels. I think last year. Maybe not, but it was either at Comic-Con or in another interview post the season premiering on Netflix that the next season would be take place later in the future, and then the way it ends kind of strongly implies that would need to happen. But I will let you finish the show, and anyone else who hasn't finished the show, that's definitely something when it comes out that we'll probably do have a review show for, because it's a very popular. I love that show.
Yeah, it was a great show. Where'd you stop, Amani? What season?
How many are there?
3.
I might be in episode 2.
Of what season?
2.
Oh, excuse me, season 2.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, not episode 2. I season 2.
Like, you got to episode 2 of season 1 and stopped?
No, I definitely finished season 1. Season 2, is that which 11 was like, I dump your ass?
Yes, they were. That's when they were like having their
soap opera moment.
The hormones were kicking in, man. Hormones.
Yeah.
Hormones.
Oh,
I love it
too, in that order.
According to my Netflix, I'm on season 3. I couldn't tell you how season 2 ended though, but all right.
Honestly, I can't either. I remember season 3. I remember season 3 though. Season 3 was really good.
What season ends with 11 like becoming a cool kid after she ran away? Is that season 2?
That's season 2. Season 3 is they're in high school.
Season 1 at all, but I'm in season 3.
Yeah, season 3. I think, is that when they go through the breakup in season 3? Because they're all in high school at that point, and then they're like having the youngest brother is having because he's still trying to play Dungeons and Dragons. Like they're all maturing, and he's still sort of like an adolescent.
The one with no teeth?
One of them has no teeth? No. Oh my Lord. He does have, first of all, he does have teeth.
Oh
You know
man,
what I mean?
that was
he does have teeth.
man, no teeth.
That is funny. Lord, Imani,
Shout
goodness
out to
gracious.
that actor.
Yeah, and I think that's a genetic defect, so he can't
I
help
didn't
it.
say there was anything wrong with him having no teeth.
I mean,
Shout out to all the
never
people
mind.
with
Yo,
no teeth.
moving right along.
Moving right along. Oh my gosh. Yo, so anyway, any other actors we got in mind for Static Shock?
That was
I can't think of any, but yeah, Caleb McLaughlin would be perfect.
He would be great, like right off the top. And then like anybody that I would say anybody that is new and upcoming that we haven't really seen much of. I hope they have and find a lot of young Black actors and actresses for this show that are new and upcoming. And then put them around some veterans. Like that's what I hope. I think Michael B. Jordan will do that. It would be cool to see him in like in a school where they have like a high population of Black and brown kids, because that would be cool to me. I definitely want to see it. Not like a maybe not. I don't want to see like the inner city like struggle. Like maybe it's like a prep school, but has like a lot of just smart young Black kids.
Hopefully that's that, but the way he gets his powers is there's a gang fight, and so that right there might.
Well, that can happen in this neighborhood.
It'll be like a Black Lightning.
Yeah, like maybe he could,
because
Black Lightning was pretty good. Yeah, I think his suit was
I saw some of that.
But the casting on Black Lightning was great.
Aren't they similar? The character Black Lightning and Static Shock.
What?
I know he was born with his powers, Black Lightning, and he was able to pass them on to his children. So all of his children have power. I know that.
How's that gonna work with Static Shock out here?
But yeah, I don't know anything else about Black Lightning. But the casting on that show was great. I would say I wish it was on HBO, so the characters and they just could have gotten more. Like I felt like they were hindered by the budget. But I enjoyed what I did see of Black Lightning.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to.
Him disagrees.
I would say. Oh wow, yeah. He said it was trash. Wow.
That's what I mean. When I saw the previews, that's what I said to myself from the previews, but I didn't want to judge.
I'll say this. It's a Black show, and I think more Black people should have watched it, but I think it would have had a better life on another network.
What network was it on?
It was on CW with the rest of them shows.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Because most of those, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I don't know, because I like Arrow and Flash.
Flash on there is cool, yeah. I haven't seen Arrow though.
The other one, Arrow is really good. Like Arrow is what got me into the CW DC verse.
Is Arrow the one that canceled? Is Arrow the one they canceled?
They had it like 4 seasons.
I think it did. Yeah, I don't think it got canceled. I think it just ended, because I know the main. I don't know how it ended. I hadn't seen the final season, so maybe it did get canceled. I know that they wrote the character out like but I don't know if that's because I feel like they left on good terms, but maybe the show's canceled. I don't know. But I think they set up a lot of spin-off shows from that show too.
Kennard says he thinks they canceled Gotham.
They definitely canceled Gotham. That deserved to get canceled. That one deserved to get canceled.
Definitely.
That one was like, and it had like the crazy thing about Gotham had potential to be good, and the way they wrote the show it was like, what are y'all doing?
Full of corn and mayonnaise, man. That's what they
do. Mayonnaise.
Corn and mayonnaise. All right, we got some more comments. Let me get back to these comments. Kennard, what's going on?
Kennard.
Nuri. What's up? What's up?
Welcome, fam.
Took a shot for us. Let's go. Hey. That's what I'm like. That's what
Thank
I like.
The tequila shot.
What did y'all take a shot of?
Man, there's no telling. They down the sea breeze. Ain't no telling. Don't reveal the secrets. Don't answer that question.
Never mind. So we getting into that Sony news, that Sony, Marvel, Disney love.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Seagram 7. He took a shot of Seagram 7. Okay. Alrighty.
Seagram's has sweet tea flavored vodka. Put that in some sweet tea or some lemonade. Do it.
Why sweet tea? Sweet. Isn't that like what? Is that not a Rhode Island? No, it's not a Rhode Island. A Long Island iced tea.
No,
isn't that what that is?
Long Island iced tea is every drink, every liquor in the same cup. That's rum, tequila, vodka, gin.
Okay. I've never had one, as you can tell.
A Long Island iced tea will flip you upside down twice.
That sounds like
Long Island.
That sounds like a what you call it? It's like a trash. It's not a trash can. I don't know. That's a lot. That's too much.
I've never had one, and I have zero desire to mix all those different things. I know people who will drink those all night, and I think they've got to be demons or something.
All night? That's insane.
Like that's their drink. Like they're gonna drink that and only that.
Oh man.
I think Kanar is referring to the that sweet tea flavored vodka. I'm pretty sure. It's might be bad, but I think my mom is on.
That does sound good. Yeah. All right. So this Marvel news, Spider-Man news, man. Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. We got what appears to be the Spider-Verse live action is happening. Disney, Marvel, and Sony seem to be playing nice. And we've got some reports that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are both in negotiations to reprise their role in Spider-Man 3 as their versions of Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I'm hyped.
Yes, definitely. If you're looking forward to Spider-Man 3 and you like this Spider-Man news and like Static Shock news, leave a like on the video. Definitely would appreciate it because that will help us out tremendously. I'm definitely here for it. Spider-Verse sounds amazing, and then what all they're building in Phase 4 with the multiverse, it opens up a whole lot of possibilities as to what this will do. I also heard that they are in the process, if they haven't already signed an actor to play Miles Morales in live action. If you recall, I believe. What movie was that? Was that Spider-Man 1 where they introduced Prowler, played by Donald Glover?
That was yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because that he made a cameo as he was playing Prowler in that cameo. But they, of course, hadn't cast Miles Morales yet. And if you don't know the Miles Morales story, I forget Prowler's real name, but that is Miles Morales' uncle.
Uncle Aaron.
Right. Uncle Aaron. But yeah, I think he was selling guns out the trunk or something.
In that story.
In that scene. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that scene.
Yeah. And he makes reference to his nephew, and he was referencing his
Miles.
Yeah, he was referencing Miles. So that's cool. Hopefully we'll get some news on that. I think that they'll probably break the Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire news first when that's made official and all that's finalized. Based on what I've heard from the Den of Nerds, shout out to Josh, Den of Nerds, but he said that he's heard that the Andrew Garfield is already signed on, and they're waiting. They're still in negotiations for Tobey Maguire. They think that they'll have it finalized within the next week or few weeks. And once that is the case, then there will be a big announcement about that.
Yeah.
I have two things to say. One, I put up two fingers. One, if Donald Glover does sign up for this movie, we're never going to get to see Atlanta again. And two, Spider-Man was my first like superhero movie premiere. The first one with Tobey Maguire. I'll never forget it. My stepdad picked me up from school. I think I was in elementary school, maybe fifth or sixth grade. And not fifth or sixth grade. I don't know how old I was. I know I was in elementary school. My stepdad picked me up early and we went to the movie theater. And I just remember being like, he might be watching right now. He's a big superhero fan. Marvel, DC, all of that. But yeah, that was probably like at that moment I knew I needed to watch superhero films in theaters. I don't think the theater was packed because it was like early in the day, but it was quite the experience and I'll never forget it. So like I would say that film probably has a lot to do with why I'm here with y'all now.
Oh, that's what's up.
Word, that's fire.
Yeah, that was a good movie. That's probably it's probably my top 3, top 5 superhero movies.
Yeah, that first Spider-Man was definitely up there for me as well. That was a big time introduction for me into the Marvel verse. Because the X-Men animated show was really that was my introduction, but I didn't realize that Blade was part of Marvel. But I watched Blade, I loved Blade, but Spider-Man was like it. And then the X-Men live action also too kind of sort of solidified it for me as well. And then the Batman movies, so I was into Batman and DC before I was into the Marvel stuff. X-Men was my introduction into Marvel. But yeah, no, I'm definitely excited to see Tobey Maguire come back and play his Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield. One thing I will note, Andrew Garfield didn't get a trilogy. So it would be nice to see him have more of a prominent role in the Spider-Man 3 film than Tobey Maguire. Like, let the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man be like the OG Spider-Man.
Tobey getting that screen time, buddy.
That might be what he's negotiating. And we don't know, but I think in fairness, since Garfield didn't get his third film, like it would be nice to see him sort of get that credit. But I wouldn't be surprised if they in this movie the Maguire Spider-Man dies or something, because similar to the Into the Spider-Verse animated film, that was amazing. The Into the Spider-Verse is my favorite Spider-Man movie.
Yes, I would agree. Definitely.
And so if there was a story, if they kind of paralleled it like that, and the Maguire Spider-Man is the older Spider-Man that maybe dies, and then the Garfield Spider-Man is kind of like he and Tom Holland Spider-Man kind of team up, because I think they would be an interesting duo, Garfield and Holland. And I think that having Tobey Maguire as kind of like the OG would, one, for our generation, would be like amazing, because that was our Spider-Man. And then like it's a nice way to pay homage to every generation of Spider-Man fan.
I need a scene with all three of them going at whoever, just like Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America were doing Thanos in Endgame. I need that scene of them three fighting somebody at the same time. Like, I already know that's gonna feel amazing. I need to be in a movie theater in New York City on opening night. Like, that's gonna be the best feeling ever.
Yeah. So that could happen, but it may not be. I don't know. It could happen. That could happen, because I know the Sony is trying to set up the Sinister 7, or is it Sinister 6? The Spider-Man villains. I think it's 7. Sinister 7.
I think it is. I think it's 6.
Sinister Six sounds a little bit more scary.
Yeah, it's Sinister Six. Yeah, it's Sinister Six. They're trying to set that up with, and the introduction was the Venom movie, and we also heard that Tom Hardy's Venom is going to be a part of the MCU and Tom Holland's Spider-Man universe. But it's a cool.
That's what I'm really excited for. That Venom, Venom and Carnage. Let's get it.
Yeah, so like, because Craven, I think Moon Knight, like a lot of the rumored Disney Plus shows and upcoming movie projects for Marvel are starting to come together, and a lot of it has to do with Sony and Marvel and Kevin Feige really negotiating on how they want to proceed with what characters, what storylines they want to follow, and what have you. And a part of it, what allows all of this to happen is the multiverse, which is why the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is going to be a very pivotal movie for Phase 4 and for Marvel moving forward, because it's going to introduce the multiverse. We're going to see different versions possibly of characters that we've seen on screen. We've heard rumors that there's going to be an alternate universe where Iron Man is still alive, and that Iron Man is played by Tom Cruise, who was originally going to be cast.
Please don't do that.
He was originally going to be cast as Iron Man before Robert Downey Jr. got the part. Like he wanted to direct an Iron Man movie. Like he was slated to be the first Iron Man movie.
He's Ethan Hawke.
I don't like that.
Yeah, so that's a possibility.
Ethan Hunt. Who am I thinking about? Mission Impossible. What's his character's name? Ethan Hunt. That's what. Yeah, Ethan Hunt.
Another actor. Yeah, I was about to say, isn't that an actor?
In Tom Cruise's favor just a little bit. Like they could be brothers or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, cousins.
Yeah, so that's Phase 4 is going to set up a lot like
that's nasty.
Yeah. He was talking about the Tom Cruise testing.
The Tom Cruise.
Yeah. I can't do that. Mm-mm.
They made the right choice. They made the better choice.
Yeah, like so there'll be cameos of different versions of the Avengers in the multiverse. That's the rumor. Who's going to be playing what? I don't know. These are all of it is rumor and speculation, but the multiverse is going to showcase some of the other Avengers, alternate versions of the Avengers characters. It will also likely introduce the Fantastic Four into the MCU and the X-Men in some form or fashion. So the multiverse of madness is going to be crazy. WandaVision is also going to coincide with the multiverse of madness. Like there are going to be a lot of parallels and things building up to the Doctor Strange sequel. And Doctor Strange will appear in Spider-Man 3, and he will be the mentor role for Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Really?
Yes. Need that because he went through some stuff in Spider-Man Far From Home.
And it's because of that is why Doctor Strange is going to be a mentor, and because of all the multiverse stuff, as well, because he's going to need some help.
So, it sounds like
in some of the universes.
What's that?
Me? Wouldn't it be funny if some of the universes there was just some black actors sprinkled in there for no reason? Like Spider-Man is Miles Morales is black, but if the Hulk was black.
Yeah.
Some of the universes, I just can't help but think they need to do that. Not for any other reason except making me laugh and making some people angry.
Yeah, I did hear that there's a possibility that the Wesley Snipes Blade might make an appearance in the multiverse in some capacity as well.
Would love that.
That needs to happen.
I love Blade.
Once again, it's a rumor, so don't take it with a grain of salt. So I did hear some rumblings that was on the table, but they consider a lot of things in studio before things go into production, so that could have been scrapped. That was a couple months ago, around the time I think we started getting more news on the WandaVision show and the Multiverse of Madness with Doctor Strange. So things could have changed. I hadn't heard anything since then. Hadn't really heard anything on the Mahershala Ali, excuse me. Is that gonna? I think that's a Disney Plus series for Blade that he's gonna. No, it's a movie. He's got a movie.
I don't think it's moved because isn't it attached
COVID?
Huh? Isn't it attached to Morbius?
I think it is, but the Morbius, Moon Knight, and like all of
Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Oh, Moon Knight.
Yeah, Moonlight, because that's all within the spider realm, really. So that's all of that's really that's where Marvel and Sony have to kind of sort of play nice. Well, really, Kevin Feige and Sony have to play nice, and figure out how they want to proceed with the Spider-Man. I think Marvel's going to keep Tom Holland, but they may have, through the multiverse, be able to do different versions of the same character. And so like the Sony Spider-Man movies may feature Tom Holland, but those stories may be in another multiverse, but like another universe separate from the MCU. That way it doesn't interfere with continuity. So we could see that too. Like, so we could see two versions of Tom Holland Spider-Man, the Sony version and then the Marvel version on as an Avenger.
That's what's up.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be. I'll get back to.
I guess it would make sense. Doctor Strange being his mentor, they're gonna bring in these different universes.
Yeah,
his window into all these different universes.
That is Doctor Strange's specialty. Like he's the one. Him and really Reed Richards are the only ones, kind of not really the only ones, but they would be the best. But because we don't have the Fantastic Four yet, Reed Richards is not an option. But they may be introduced. I would like to see that story because I want to see Doctor Doom brought into the MCU.
Can I say that the casting of the last Fantastic Four movie was great, and the writing was the problem with that film and not the acting. And I especially loved Michael B. Jordan as the Human Torch. I don't know. I just feel like it would be a waste to let all of that go. I mean, the movie was god awful, so I understand it, but I never thought casting was an issue with that film.
No, the casting wasn't the issue, and it's like a known secret that Fox screwed that movie up by interfering with the script. They did heavy rewrites on the script after it was approved, and had Josh Trank go in and reshoot a lot of the movie. And so a lot of, I think 60% of that, 60 or 70% of the film was like rewritten by the studio. And so those edits, the final cut of the film was not Trank's version of the film, if that makes any sense. Cut. Yeah, we're probably not going to get it because like the way he's basically left Hollywood. He went back to do independent films. Like he's like, I'm done with this because this is insane. I don't either because didn't he do was it Super 8?
That was good.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
Super 8 was great, which is why I thought like the Fantastic Four movie was going to be.
Wait, Super 8? Spielberg?
No, it's not Super 8.
The Power 8, something.
No, that's not Super 8. No, it was a superhero movie.
It was on Netflix, right? Netflix original.
No, it wasn't a Netflix original. But it was like these kids, they found this like asteroid, and the asteroid gave them powers. Chronicle.
Yeah.
It was Chronicle. I think that's Josh Trank.
Chronicle. Okay.
It came out in 2012.
I mean, there was a coach on Super 8 though.
Yeah, Josh Trank. Yeah, he made that movie, and I'm like, oh, bet like he's gonna kill this Fantastic Four movie, and then we got the Fantastic Four movie, and I'm like, something's off because this dude knows how to write superhero movies. Like, you can't tell me anything. But yeah, hold on. Let me get back to the comments before we get into the community topic, because we got a double header for the community topic tonight. I saw something up top that I wanted to get to. They have to play. All right, Heen had to play nice. The theaters are closed. Smart move. This really happened all before COVID. There was, I think, after, I want to say after the was it after Avengers Endgame? It might have been Infinity War, but Tom Holland and his contract, well, the Sony contract with Marvel had expired, and they were going to proceed without. Sony was going to move forward with Tom Holland as their Spider-Man, and he would be outside of the MCU. Like, they were going to do their own movies with the Tom Holland character, and the Tom Holland Spider-Man would no longer be a part of the MCU, and Marvel would lose their rights to use the character at all. I know it was definitely after Civil War, so like it was like the grand introduction of Spider-Man, and like the fans, when they caught wind that the talks had fallen through, they went crazy on the internet. And even Tom Holland threatened to leave the role if they didn't negotiate with Disney to get back into the MCU. And so really what happened was the fans and Tom Holland saved the Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Remember what he posted on Instagram?
Yeah.
He posted the clip from Wolf of Wall Street of old boy going, I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking leaving. And he started going crazy. I think that thing has like 10 million views or something crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it was insane. Like, and so that was really the fans and the actor boycotting the move from Sony, which was a smart business move for Sony to go and capitalize on that project independently, because Spider-Man is a good IP. They would have made money on it, but because it had such bad press when the news got out, they had to retract, because like really Marvel, Disney, and Kevin Feige had no negotiating power at that point, like, because all the Sony owns the character of Spider-Man and all of the characters associated with Spider-Man. So they had all the power in that situation, and the fans leveraged that against them by like threatening to boycott the movie, and then Tom Holland joining in with that kept the negotiations open. So now they solidified a deal because they realized that like they can't really perceive, like, Marvel's IP at this point in time is much higher than the Spider-Man, Sony Spider-Man alone.
Just good thing they came to a agreement.
One thing that's important to note is just how much power the fans have, especially now that social media is as big as it is. Like, in a way, they can't let us down anymore. Like, they are, because we will not support them, and we've done it. Especially like we've done so much as, had them completely change Sonic. Like, that's the power that the fans have.
Yeah, that was wild how quickly they got that character changed. But that was oh god, that character, whoever designed that character should have been fired.
They probably were,
because that was disgraceful.
We did all that and nobody watched the movie.
I'm like, why would you try to make it?
That movie was actually pretty good. Like, Jim Carrey carried it.
When did it come out?
2 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago?
Maybe 1 year
ago.
It might have been 19. I feel like it happened, like it came out like shortly before all the COVID stuff happened.
I went to the theater
on Valentine's Day this year. Dang, no wonder it did bad. Okay.
Yeah, that's why it did bad. COVID killed that movie.
Damn.
Hey,
they need to put that on a streaming service so we can go up.
Yeah, redesign theaters cope with COVID. I don't think they can the theaters can't afford to redesign the theaters to cope with COVID.
Nah.
they can't afford that.
They could try. I'm not going in there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like this whole social dynamic has shifted. And theaters, even before COVID, theaters really have to adopt. They're going to have to adopt their model, and become more appealing to the younger audiences, because they've got, our generation is probably 50-50 with digital consumption. The generations behind us are like 100% digital. Like they don't have the same type. The theater doesn't have the same type of draw for them as it does for us. Like most of the content that they've experienced is all online, and that's how the only reason they go to the theater is because they have no other choice. Like when the Marvel movies come out, they go to the theater because that's the only place they can see it. If that changes, they're going to lose about 2 generations of moviegoers, and so they have to adopt their model if they want to survive.
Every movie theater needs chicken wings and drinks. That's how I'm gonna go. I only go to diners now.
I don't even like to eat in the theater.
Wow.
So I wouldn't. I don't eat, and I don't know. I don't eat and watch movies.
I get there early because they tell you to. That way you could enjoy your food and then kick back and enjoy your drink.
Nah, I'll go eat first, and then I'll go to the theater.
I like a good slushy in the theater. You know what I mean?
With alcohol in it.
Possibly, yeah, possibly. I can't drink alcohol anymore.
Never mind.
But yeah, donuts and movies go together.
Donuts and movies?
Donuts and movies. Cut out the popcorn. Donuts.
Okay.
How did you discover that?
Off show, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
I'm like, all right, donuts.
Popcorn and movies. I'm gonna just say that.
All right.
I'm writing that on my sticky note.
All righty. So yeah, there you have it. Now that's the Spider-Man news. That's all I got on it. If y'all are ready, we can move into this community discussion.
Let's do it.
Imani?
Y'all, what was this, like 2 weeks ago I set this up? It's Halloween. Well, to me, the whole month of October is Halloween. Like the moment October 1st at midnight hits, it's spooky season for me. And so I have been wanting to talk about scary stuff all this time. Last week, the Lovecraft Country convo and the Raised by Wolves convo went a little long, but now we're ready to talk about it. So I asked 2 weeks ago what your favorite zombie horror films were. And also we could just have a convo about zombie horror, because it is, I would argue, one of the biggest categories in horror films right now.
Yeah, I would say that I would agree with that. I think it took the shine from the monster and vampire
and the axe murderer, like the chainsaw dudes. They ain't compared to these zombies now.
People.
Yeah, no, because what it was monsters, and then it turned to the chainsaw thrillers, chainsaw murder, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Texas Chainsaw, and then Michael Myers, yeah, and then it shifted to
vampire.
Nah, we shifted to gore, really, with the Saw franchise. Like everything, horror shifted to gore.
Yeah,
but it was like, it wasn't even about like the
all hostile and
all it. Yeah.
Oh
yeah. Gore porn that's what I call it.
Yeah, that's basically you're right. Gore porn.
Because it's like a gore fetish. Like it's not even scary. It's just disgusting. Like
it's hard to watch.
It's like, what can we do to make people throw up in the theater? That's what those movies are. Like Saw kind of has the best plot. The rest of them it's just torture and like gore. Like, then it went back. Then it kind of went back to
somebody got their eyelid ripped off.
Oh, that was Raised by Wolves.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
It was.
Yes, mother ripped a dude's eyelid off and and slammed his head onto the onto the scanner. Yeah. That jump was crazy. That jump was crazy, man. Yeah, that was disgusting.
He was just looking surprised, like I can't undo this.
I did not know that could happen though.
Bro, that's a level of stress that, like, I don't know, man. That gets your blood pressure up.
From that, like you can't go back. You screwed.
Would you rather have that happen or your eyes spooned out?
Bro, no. Oh God, I don't know. Because the dude getting his eye spooned out in Utopia was like, they're equal to me.
That's not the big thing for me in horror films. This is off topic, but hands, anything that happens to hands. And there was like I would say last year or the year before, there was a theme where every single horror film that came out had something horrible done to hands, fingers. Like they were just like, yeah, we're going to break every digit on screen. You're going to see it happen. You saw the movie Life, right? JBM, with the alien in outer space.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when it broke old boy's hand and his hand was like linguine?
Oh yeah.
That in like every movie. And that for me, I was like, let me sit on my hands while I watch this. I can't take it.
Man, we've been chopping limbs off in Star Wars since 1977.
That's clean though. Those clean cuts.
Not the Obi-Wan one. That left blood.
That blood?
Yeah, when he cut the dude's arm off in the bar. Because they pan down to the arm and it's laying in a pool of blood, and that's the only time we see like the lightsaber actually like not cauterize the wound.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, that don't make sense that it didn't cauterize.
Yeah, revisionist. Yeah. That's all he does. You know, George Lucas. Lord Almighty, he'll go in and change some stuff in a heartbeat.
Man. Off topic again. Let's get into these zombie talks.
Zombie talks though, but yeah, my favorite horror zombie story does not exist on film. Well, it didn't start in film, and it didn't start as a show. It started as a video game. It's Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
That is my number one zombie horror story.
That's a good one.
The movies did not do the original game.
Yeah, the games are better than the movies.
I've been watching gameplay of that because of you, and that is some really stressful stuff. Like it's like I gotta watch it with the lights on, and I have decided, even though I said like I want to play horror games in order to like start and get into video games, I don't think I can handle it because it's like it's happening to me.
Yeah.
Like they're chasing me.
I think the worst one I've ever played is Condemned.
Yeah, Condemned is rough. That joint is rough, man.
That's a zombie game?
Nah, it's a lot of stuff in Condemned. It's scary.
Game.
Yeah, that joint's scary.
It deals with like demonic possessions, demons and stuff like that.
Yep.
Spirits. Ooh.
Yeah, and those are some great games. That should be another topic for a community discussion.
Yeah,
horror games. But yeah, it's the 28 weeks franchise. Well, I guess it's 28 franchise. That would be my pick.
I'm waiting on a 28 years later because I like 28 days later, but 28 weeks later is what really did it for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Was it the 28 days the first zombie movie where they started showing them like sprinting at people, fast moving zombies?
I think so.
The Dead series I think predates that, like Dawn of the Dead and all of those. I think those came out before the first 28 film, and in that franchise they are speeding.
Yeah, they're dumb fast.
Yeah, the one with Vin Rames.
Is it the one with Kai Pfeiffer in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, but God, why he always dying in his movies?
His character had to go. I'm sad it was the black man, but in 28 and Dawn of the Dead, his character had to go. Not to cut you off, Coop. Sorry.
No, you good.
He was definitely tripping.
But
my brain, all I was gonna say is my brain keeps shifting to I Am Legend, but those aren't zombies, those are vampires.
in the film, they don't really say it's vampires, and I don't think, if like watching that, it didn't give me vampire vibes, and I found out that it were vampires later when I got home. I don't know if it was because of the look or if it's because of the fact that it was genetically made, the disease, but it never gave me vampire vibes, so I missed out on that.
That's news to me. I didn't know they were vampires.
They were in it was a comic book, right? Or like a
graphic novel.
A graphic novel, yeah.
Yeah.
They were vampires.
Yeah, I would say the nature, like they didn't drink anyone's blood. Like they operate like zombies as far as how they infect, but they have the characteristics of vampires. They got light sensitivity, sensitivity to UV light. They sleep during the day. Yeah, like they've got like, but they have a horde zombie mentality, but they're kind of like bats more than vampires.
They're
in that
mixing
sense.
a lot of stuff because they're like
they're a mix of a whole lot of things, and like the nighttime, the activity of them at night is like what tipped me off to them being more vampire-esque than zombie, but it is a hybrid, like zombie vampire type of creature.
Especially most vampires that we see can like speak and communicate. There's only a couple of examples of vampire things that I know of where they can't talk.
Yeah. I'll get to the comments. Let's see. Paranormal and Insidious had me jacked up. Yeah, those are.
Yeah,
that's another one because those are the good ones.
Yeah, the spiritual stuff I can't. I gotta ignore all that.
Those are, yeah, we gotta do that one next week or something.
Next week, that'll be the topic next week.
Yeah, like the spiritual demonic ones, because like that Insidious and Paranormal is up there for me, boy. Yeah. Good God Almighty!
I saw Kanara and I went to go see A Haunted House. That's the parody, the black parody of Paranormal Activity. Kanara and I went to go see the second one in theaters, and we didn't even realize it was rated R until we started watching it. That was some crazy stuff.
Yeah, I remember that first one, yo. The first one. Oh, yo, never mind. Yeah, we gotta do the spiritual, like the demonic one. We gotta do that next week.
That's next week. Next week we'll talk about ghosts and spirits and demons and being possessed and all that jazz.
Yeah. 28 days. Yeah, 28 days and 28 weeks. I'm pretty sure Thomas put me on 28 days and weeks. Definitely watch that together. Yeah, and we used to rent horror movies and watch them junks together. That's the best way. That's the best way that because being in there with a scary movie and you jumping, reacting with with your friends and family, boy, it's not like that.
That is definitely like an experience right there.
Yes, sir. Zombieland is that's a parody.
Is it?
It's just, I wouldn't call it a parody. I would call it a comedy, a horror comedy.
It's a horror comedy. That's what I mean. That's a good descriptor. That's a better descriptor. Parody is a.
I enjoy Zombieland, and I liked Zombieland too.
They had. Go ahead.
I was just saying I like the second one.
Oh yeah, that they had who's in there? In McLovin in that?
I don't know, but Woody Harrelson's in it.
Yeah, like the actors, they're all comedic actors for the most part that are in the.
Yeah, the dude that played Mark Zuckerberg is in it.
Yeah, I think that's who you were talking about.
Yeah, that is what I'm talking about.
I Am Legend was
they're hybrid.
They're a little different.
They're Vambies.
Yeah.
Vambies.
That doesn't sound scary at all.
Devil Inside. That's not. Devil Inside is not.
We can talk about that next week, Keem.
Is there a kid in that?
Probably. They all got kids. The spiritual scary movies got kids for days.
I was trying to figure out what my number one choice was, and it's not easy for me. I would say 28 Weeks Later is up there. Dawn of the Dead, which is the one where Mekhi Phifer's wife got bit and then she gave birth to the baby, and the baby was a zombie too. That was like, I can't handle that. But there's a scene in that one where Ving Rhames' character was talking to the owner of a gun shop. They were on top of a mall, and there was a man who owned a gun shop who was on top of a roof. And they were talking throughout the film, and then something happens to the guy on the roof. And I just remember being panicked, like, oh Lord Jesus, what's about to happen? That was a lot for me. I was like, I was invested in this man. You know, I thought he was gonna be okay. And yeah, that was a lot for me. And then a newer film that I think people slept on, which also maybe they just didn't know where to watch it, but Train to Busan.
Is that a zombie movie?
It's a zombie movie, and they didn't.
I didn't know that.
They didn't tell it. Yeah, and I think it won a lot of awards too. It basically, there's a zombie outbreak in Korea, and these people are just trying to get to Busan, which might be the capital or just a really large city. And the outbreak, it's just how the people on the train handle it. That's all I'll tell you. But I would argue that might be the best. The whole film is in Korean, but as far as the stories and the zombies are running, so it's one of those ones. I'm not too afraid of zombies that move slow. Like The Walking Dead, I love the show, but The Walking Dead proved that the people are the problem, not the zombies. Because if they walk in 2 miles an hour, you could just skip and get away. Like you don't have to run. So
you just can't let them corner you. Basically, you'll be okay.
They're only dangerous in packs. Like if it's just you and one of them, you could literally just like mush them in the forehead and be good.
Yeah, it's the track star zombies I got a problem with.
Yeah. Oh, if there was an outbreak of those, the ones from World War Z, in my opinion, are the fastest, and there was a lot of them because the World War Z you became a zombie in like 10 seconds. Yeah,
like the outbreak spread fast and they move fast. Like I feel like World War Z is underrated. It's not the best, but it's definitely underrated.
It's underrated, and I wish somehow they could figure out how to do a second one or give us a view of what happened in a different city. Because the fact that those things that you turned so fast, I don't think we've seen that happen.
Yeah, because the concept for the zombies was really good to me. Like I was like, yo, to your point, the rate at which it spread and how quickly you were converted to a zombie was interesting. And then I liked how fast they move. Number one, because I'm always about like the speed of the zombie. Because if they don't move fast, to me, I'm not really that scared. If they move fast, that's a problem. And then the rate at which the infection spread through your body was like faster than anything I've seen in a zombie movie. Because it was instant. And then they were like super strong too. Yeah. And the ones in I Am Legend were super strong.
So they were all diesel. Every
things was strong, bro.
Diesel. Even the women had muscles. That was crazy.
Yeah.
That scene in World War Z when they were in, was it Israel? And everybody in the city had no virus at all. And then a couple zombies got in, and the entire city turned in an instant. Like that was didn't the zombies just run into the wall and like basically their bodies their bodies formed basically a ladder for all of them to climb over. And I was like, they were very sensitive to sound, and in a way I would argue that they were some of the smartest zombies and how they moved and how they worked together.
It was like a hive mind. They were like. I would say another thing that's underrated within a video game, I think the Flood in Halo, underrated. Because the Flood basically, it's like a hive mind zombie type of thing. Like they come through and they infect entire planets and convert people and species. Like I think it was like Halo 2 when they introduced the Flood. Yeah, that jump was crazy.
Yeah.
Can we talk about
parasitic?
Yeah, parasite. Yeah, dude, can we count like parasitic infections as like
zombies?
Yeah.
Have y'all ever seen the movie Quarantine?
Yes.
Quarantine is up there. And now that I've seen it so many times, I actually think it's really funny. Like, I laugh the whole time, but that's because something's wrong with me. But if you have never seen Quarantine is basically like it's an apartment building where there's an outbreak and the entire building is on lockdown. And you just see, I want to say it's a person with a camera that has a black light. I mean, what's that light called?
UV light.
Yeah, and like they're like just going through the building, and yeah, it's crazy. But quarantine, I think it was supposed to be rabies.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was rabies. It was a different strain of rabies.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Resident Evil. We talked about Resident Evil. Definitely, I think it's going to be up there for a lot of people, especially in the video game realm. I think video games have done a lot of good things with the horror genre. Honestly.
Yeah.
I would argue that.
Oh, RAC, yo, I forgot about that.
Which one?
Did you ever? It's like I think it's in the same vein as Paranormal. I think that was also like a zombie-esque type of thing.
What's the name of it?
RAC. That one was really good.
RAC.
Yeah, it's like it's one of those POV horror movies.
There's a bunch of them. Are they? How I miss all of this? There's four of them.
I never saw that.
Yeah, those were really good. I like those. They were that was different. Like because those POV joints where it's like that first person camera.
Oh yeah, when you Google it, Quarantine comes up, so it must be similar. I want to see that.
All right, so it's kind of they do the same style as that one movie with the monster that like started destroying Manhattan or whatever.
Cloverfield.
Yeah, Cloverfield. It's like that. It's like that, but it's actual bona fide horror movie. It's like the Blair Witch Project, because the Blair Witch Project is what set all that off.
There was a trend of those kind of movies for a while.
Blair Witch had people thinking that was like a documentary for real.
People still do. I know people personally who do. To know them.
It's that whole conspiracy of it being like a true found footage. It gets me. I remember that trending because I was like middle school. The original I heard the original Quarantine was really good. Was better than the.
Can I just say that American horror is whack? Like compared to other countries, I don't know if it's because we make so much of it and that we only go for scares, but
yeah, like, we do. It's tropey. American horror, super tropey.
Yeah, we put too much into the special effects.
Like Train to Busan is arguably the best made. I would put World War Z and Train to Busan up there as far as the quality of the film, like and just everything that was done. I would say World War Z had the graphics weren't as good, but Train to Busan is definitely better. Can we talk about zombie films and not mention Game of Thrones?
Yes, absolutely.
We absolutely can.
Yes, we
based on. I mean, you can definitely. I'd say you can give The Night an honorable mention. You mentioning made me think of that because as much as they hyped up these things, I'm mad they were only in one episode in this manner, but the way they rolled up as like a mountain of bodies is still the most terrifying horror moment in a TV show. I would put that over anything I've seen in The Walking Dead. I would put that over The Strain. I would put that over every other horror show that I've seen. That was crazy. And I enjoyed how dark it was. A lot of people didn't like it, but I liked the fact that you could not see them.
Yeah, so my mind completely blanked. I immediately went to the mountain, thinking about the mountain. I totally forgot about the walkers. Oh. The White Walkers.
Yeah. Oh. I would say the White Walkers definitely get an honorable nod for sure. I would
put them in a discussion. I mean, the whole show is based on their the myth of the White Walkers.
But the introduction with the northern folk when the White Walkers attack that village, and Jon Snow goes like in the Night Watch go to help the village, and like they're getting slaughtered, and then like
getting up.
No. Well, because they evacuate everybody, and they own like a few ships, and like as they're pulling out, like all of a sudden, all of their dead friends just start rising. Like no, the Night King stands over them, and he does that thing with his hands, and they all start rising. I was like, yo, this is crazy. I became a fan.
He made of him like doing a shimmy is still hilarious.
I gotta watch that.
I would also
Game of Thrones will count.
That's probably the second fastest change too, because I mean, in most zombie things, they die and then they get back up, or at least The Walking Dead is like that. But as like far as having to, wait to get bit and then get sick, yada yada yada, like in Game of Thrones, as soon as they died, they got back up as soon as the king said so.
Well, that was like he manipulated that moment, so he raised them up immediately. But there's like another instance on the show where there was a dead body, and it had been dead for a while. They found it, brought it back, and later that night, it had woke up as a White Walker.
Got you.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Trying to think, is there anything else zombie wise? Because we got to get into those kids too.
Yeah, them creepy kids, man.
Just watch Train to Busan. I think it's on Netflix now.
Yeah, and Alive.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Alive is like the next part of the story, the Train to Busan, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong.
What did you say the movie is?
The movie Alive. So I think the movie Alive is part of the Train to Busan. No, it's not. Never mind. I just Googled it. They're not connected narrative. Not at all. But Alive is another good one. It's a guy, he's stuck in his apartment. The outbreak happened, and now he's just trying to survive in the apartment. Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh, and as far as comedies go, Shaun of the Dead, that's underrated, and I enjoy it. And if it's
that's a classic.
Yeah, Shaun of the Dead was pretty cool. Him keeping his homeboy in the backyard tied up so they could play video games. Nuts.
Yeah.
All right, so
let's get into those kids.
Let's get into them creepy kids, man.
So last week we talked about kids a lot on when we were talking about Raised by Wolves, and it made me think of just how in horror situations kids are sometimes the saviors and sometimes they are the cause of the problem. And I just wanted to have an open discussion on children in horror films in general. The kid could either be just a part of the film, or they could be the source of the problem, like I said. But I've noticed that many genres kind of push kids out, and horror is one of those where kids are pretty standard. There aren't too many horror films that don't have children in them. Like there's always kids involved somewhere, and I think that's just to add another level of fear. Like the older I get, I think of maybe that's to scare parents sometimes. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, shoot. Go ahead, Coop.
Okay, it was fun. No, because I just blanked on. Blanked on my. Because I got a couple.
Say them all.
Well, Omen was the first thing that came to my mind. Because that movie is wild, but it's not The Devil Inside. The other, I don't know which paranormal it was, but it was the one where the kid was possessed. It was one of the sequels. It wasn't the original one. It was
the two girls.
Was it two? Was it the girl?
There was one of the films had two daughters in it.
Yes, and one of them was talking to Toby. Yes.
Oh, first of all, F Toby.
Right. First of all, right out rip, bro.
And
God,
Toby, yeah,
bro,
Toby
she was up
his
there.
other sister.
Yeah, no, like that junk is because she was up there playing with a dollhouse by herself. What you think is by her? Or she was having tea or something. Like she was doing all type of weird stuff by herself and like having the conversation. I think the mom or somebody came in, walked in while she was having tea with Toby, and like I think it picked up the teacup or dropped it or something. Like those the scares in Paranormal Activity are amazing.
Yeah,
they are amazing. Like that whole
some other shit.
The scene when they have like they take all of the furniture in the kitchen and dining room.
The second one,
bruh.
And then drop it.
Yes.
Like what happened to my furniture? And it all came from the ceiling.
Like Gus, she walks in through the door and like she's on the phone and she just stops and looks. It's like thinking she got robbed, and all of a sudden everything just drops. And I was like, yo, bro, I could just imagine myself in that situation. I would never set foot in that house. I would never set foot in that house again. Never.
Everything is left behind.
Hey, I don't want none of it. None of it. You can have all that.
In the haunted house with Marlon Wayans, where he was like, what happened to your furniture, cuz? No, equally as impactful. Equally as impactful. I'll never forget that.
Man. Yeah. So I try to not to watch a lot of those spiritual scary movies. Because I was hurt as a kid. I used to watch a lot of that as a kid, and it messed me up. So I got my top scare, y'all gonna laugh at me, was on Nickelodeon's Are You Afraid of the Dark? There was the girl out in these woods in this little house. She was stuck in the mirror, and she was in this gown, and she was writing in red letters all over the room, help me, but backwards, because she was stuck in the mirror. Bro, I couldn't close my eyes in the shower for like 4 years.
Why did
I couldn't do it. I had to wash my hair with my eyes open.
Hey, yo, what was that one? What was that one Are You Afraid of the Dark episode with the little blue thing?
I don't know the blue thing.
The little blue creature, yo. I remember
there was another one where this dude and his friend, the friend died on a bike, and he would show up in front of his crib at night on the bike. And I like for the longest time had to close the blinds in the living room when it got night out because I couldn't look out there. I was like, yo,
oh God.
Are you afraid of the dark? Really? Like you couldn't close your eyes.
Bro, there were some episodes. Some episodes that was
years.
Up.
I could not close my eyes in the shower. I was like, nah, it's not for me. It's not for me.
I'm weak.
There were some episodes that were like that. I just remember that little blue dude was extra, man. Like I remember he was chasing the little kids, and instead of walking up the stairs, this man gets on the banister and it just rides up. And I was just like, bro, what is this? I can't tell you. I can't remember that episode for the life of me, but that moment stuck out to me because like
it wasn't banister, the clown. Was it the clown?
I don't know, man. I just remember my banister and stairs in my house was similar to that one, and I was just like, nah, bro, that didn't sit right with my soul.
Hey, man, be hitting like that though, you know, get right in the soul. Can't do it. And a horror movie called Mama. Have y'all seen Mama?
Yes. Mama was, first of all,
that messed me up for another 3 years. I still see Mama.
I haven't seen Mama again. Mama, and you know what's crazy? The graphics are, in my opinion, bad. Like looking now back on what Mama looked like, they could have done that better. Like imagine if they'd made Mama practical the way they did in It, the man who had leprosy. If they made her like live practical like that, I wouldn't sleep to this day. But she was all CGI, and I think that took away from it. But yeah, Mama was nuts.
Yeah, them kids were crazy.
Mm-hmm. A film of mine. I mean, if you know me, you already know Signs is my film. I love that film, and the kids. I don't even remember their names. Dang, I know the little girl is Bo, but her older brother. Signs is an alien film. Her older brother, like from the jump, is like, "Yo, there's aliens here. They hostile. They're here to attack us." And like he made helmets for everybody to be safe out of foil, and he had this book that told him what to do. And I don't know. I love that film in general, but I always appreciated the kids in there. And it, yeah, so
The Exorcist.
Exorcist is a good one. I had another one. I just lost it. Children of the Corn was a good film, but I think I said this previously on the show. I know Lou heard it. They should have killed those kids.
Yeah, you did say that.
I feel the same way about the kids in Umbrella Academy. Why are they here? If a whole bunch of people who were not pregnant when they woke up, all of a sudden were pregnant and they gave birth at the same time, put them kids in a box and burn it.
Put them in a box? Damn.
And throw the box. Why? Like, come on now. Nothing positive is going to happen from that. And they ended up killing the kids anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they waited until they were old enough to really suffer and feel it. I chose the more humane option. Sooner rather than later. I stand by all the kids from Children of the Corn should have died as soon as they came out. And if you disagree, you got in the movie. Because they weren't going to give me. I don't need to be.
No, I wasn't going to be nowhere near that.
Exactly.
Wasn't going to be that was not my problem. Just like the Paranormal Activity stuff. Nah. As soon as something like that happened, I'm out.
But you saw what happened in the haunted house, though. The first scene where something crazy happens in the house, they moved. But the spirit doesn't belong to the house.
Oh yeah, because it's bound to them. That's different. That's another problem.
Yeah.
But you got to rule the house out first.
There's a zombie. Oh, I didn't even think about this when we were talking about the zombie conversation. The Girl with All the Gifts. Have y'all seen this?
Mm-mm.
The Girl with All the Gifts is a zombie film. I think it was an independent film. I don't know that it was ever in theaters, but I want to say it's on Netflix now. It's about a little Black girl who was born from a zombie. So there was an outbreak of basically this fungus that causes you to go crazy, that causes your mind to go crazy. And you can spread it by being bit, but there were a whole bunch of women who were human, and then they were pregnant, then they got bit or the fungus infected them, and then they died as zombies, but their children lived, and they were kind of half and half human, half zombie. So they could walk, they could talk, they could communicate with you, but if they came in contact with like human flesh, like someone who's alive, or just any sort of animal, their zombie side would start to react, and they would want to bite you. They didn't look like zombies. They just looked like really innocent kids, but they were half zombies. So the film takes place in kind of like a military base, and the children are alive and they're talking to them. The children go to class every day. They're really there for research, but yeah, and just what happens to them and all that stuff is crazy. But it's called The Girl with All the Gifts. It centers one of the little girls. I don't recall her name, but it's a great, great film. I absolutely recommend everybody watch it. It's it definitely has some scares. I would say it's more of a thriller as far as like those moments go, but just watch it.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't. That's a new one for me.
I saw a trailer for it years ago. It's one of those, like, you ever see a trailer for a horror film and you're like, yo, this is gonna be great, and the movie never comes out? No? All right, that happens to me a lot because I watch a lot of trailers.
Like, nah.
All the Gifts was one of them.
Little Monsters. I hadn't seen Little Monsters.
Little Monsters on Amazon. I need to check that out.
Is that newer?
Yeah,
Is
that's
that a new film?
Lupita Nyong'o film. It's a horror comedy, a horror romantic comedy, I think. Yeah.
What was the little boy doing in War of the Worlds?
He wasn't a little boy. He was the teenage son who was trying to join the military while the aliens were trying to kill people, and he wasn't listening to his father. He needed a beating. That's what he needed. Okay, Tom Cruise's character was trying to keep little Dakota Fanning and her brother safe, and the boy was like, "Nah, I'm out. You too. I'm too old for you to."
I forgot Tom Cruise was in that movie. I forgot that he was starring in that.
Well, yeah, the son was the worst, and in my opinion, caused some problems.
I don't even remember I remember Dakota Fanning, and I remember now that you mentioned Tom Cruise in that movie. That movie is a blur to me, though.
Wow, I didn't realize I was muted.
How long have you been talking?
I've been talking, and I'm like, yo.
Oh, you probably thought I was cutting you off.
Oh, man.
I know.
That's all good. I forget what I was saying.
Oh.
Basically just commentating off what was being talked about. But I found that episode though, Are You Afraid of the Dark? And it's called The Tale of the Lonely Ghost.
The Tale of the Lonely Ghost.
That's the one in the mirror?
Lord.
Got you.
Little girl in the gown or whatever. Yeah, Tale of the Lonely Ghost.
Mr. Loaf was talking about the original Little Monsters, not the film that came out with Lupita Nyong'o. It's a family fantasy film. I've never seen it. Came out in 1989. I wasn't a thought yet.
Oh, I remember this episode.
Yeah, man. And it was the third episode of the first season. So, yeah, early on, I was messed up.
I don't think I watched that. What year did that come out?
It's in the 90s. Yeah,
I was watching Alien. I was watching like other horror films. I was watching X-Files, torturing myself.
Yeah, X-Files. I don't even count X-Files as horror.
When you watch it as a kid, it's scary.
I watched it as a kid. I never thought it was scary.
I thought it was scary. There was one episode I don't know how to talk about it in a politically correct way, so I'm gonna keep my mouth. I'm not gonna say what the episode was, but to this day, I'm terrified. That's an off-air conversation. It got me.
That episode came out in 1992. I was 5.
Oh yeah, I was ripe and tender age.
Yo, I used to watch mad movies when I was 5'4". Pop Deuce, what were you doing?
Oh man, I watched Blade in the 90s.
That's what I'm saying.
I was born in 93, so I was probably about 5, 6 when I watched Blade.
I was watching Steven Seagal, movies around that time.
Oh yeah, we were out. Yeah, we watching all type of movies.
What are they?
Parental supervised. My parents were there watching it with them. I could watch it with them. They let me watch some things.
This is a shout out to my mom. The franchise Species. If you haven't seen it, it's about an alien that grows very quickly. And it kind of does like a cocoon thing like bugs do, but it happens really fast. So it goes from baby for a while, and then it cocoons itself, and then it's a little girl, and then it cocoons itself again, and it's an adult. But she's an alien. I don't remember where she's from, but she was jacking people up. And her only goal was to mate and reproduce and have more babies. But that was as an adult. But as a child, she was still pretty dangerous.
Splice.
Speaking, that's what I thought about when
that's the nastiest movie I have ever seen in my life. First of all, the actress who plays her eyes are pretty much that far apart in real life. So whenever I see her, I got to turn the movie off because all I see is this monster. I do not like that movie. I think I've seen it once and I will never watch it again. That's a one and done movie right there. Just for the gross, ew. Remember when she morphed from a woman to a male, and then it was rubbing on the lady, and it was whispering inside because he was trying to get inside.
Oh! Speaking of, I'll put Beloved up there.
Beloved?
Yes.
I haven't seen that in forever. I don't remember it well. My mom
Species
I'll
is
put that
good.
up there
I don't
with the
remember if
creepy
Species had
kids.
kids in it.
Oh my god.
It technically wasn't a human
'Cause-
child, but it was a baby. Like they created this being from a whole bunch of different animals and human DNA, and you watch them raise it, and it had chicken legs or something.
All I'm gonna say is about Beloved is Thandie Newton acted her butt off as a child in that movie.
You talking about from the 70s?
Was it? Yeah.
$1998 when Beloved came out.
No, you're talking about Color Purple. You think about Color Purple. Beloved.
No, I'm not touching no. I think about Color Purple. I'm thinking about another movie.
Yeah, it's got Oprah, Thandie Newton, and
No.
I forgot.
No,
You
I'm
don't-
thinking about a horror, but not a horror, but I can't think of the thing. I'm thinking about something completely different though.
Oh, okay. No, Beloved is a. I don't know what you. It's a horror thriller, but them kids creepy.
Is it based on the book by Toni Morrison? Because she wrote a book called Beloved.
It's
Yeah.
the
She wrote it in the 80s. The movies came out in the 90s.
we gotta talk about it.
We do have to talk about
the clown.
The
But
films. The It film, the original one,
original It,
and the remake. The first one has them as children again, and that was.
Are the kids in there though? The kids are just normal, right?
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about both because how it affects children and how he harasses specifically children is a big deal.
You know what's crazy in the book? Stephen King had some real pedophilia vibes toward the end. Like, are y'all familiar with the ending of It in the book?
I didn't read the book.
Tell me, spoil it.
So the boys had to do sexual things with the girl in order to get out of the thing. Yeah, it was like, yo, Stephen King is something wrong with him.
That went viral on Twitter recently because you know how things that already happened have been going viral now. Like people were talking about, yo, ain't nobody gonna talk about Steven Spielberg. We talking about these pedos. Y'all not gonna bring this up.
Yeah. Stephen King is
Not Steven Spielberg.
Some weird shit.
Yeah. Stephen King.
Sorry, Spielberg. What's up?
Oh man,
I had a good one and I forgot it.
I'm trying to think. There's another. Yeah, I still forgot the movie that I was wanting to mention up top.
There's a good one that's on the tip of my tongue, and I can't. Oh, nope, I lost it. Well, The Sixth Sense. The Sixth Sense scared me as a kid, and I
that one too.
I've only seen it once. That one, and then
the mother in the kitchen, in The Sixth Sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one got me.
There's a film called Dreamcatcher. I watched my mom. Well, I always loved horror films, but I don't think my mom was ready for what this did to me. I don't even know if she knows, Mommy, I'm still not right. Okay. This film is called Dreamcatcher. It follows the story of these kids there who I think it was 4 of them. And then one special needs kid, and like the special needs kid was, being bullied, and the other kids kind of stuck up for him, and then they became a little crew. Every year they go on like a week-long trip together somewhere snowy, and they just hunt and they hang out. That's like they all did different things after they grew up, but they still come back together. And in this film, they run into some, alien beings, and there's a lot of flashbacks back to when they were kids, and you realize that the aliens have been around for a long time. But that might be the scariest alien film I've ever seen. I just don't talk about it much because I'm not gonna watch it again. I'm still not okay. That was the creepiest on-screen alien I think I've ever seen. Well, I don't think there's any creepy off-screen aliens, but the craziest alien, like the design, what they look like, and I'll take a battle with any alien, but not that one. That one, I'm gonna take myself out.
Yeah, man. Did anybody mention what's that girl's name? Samara from The Ring?
Oh, no. I think I don't know if that was mentioned. I know somebody mentioned The Grudge.
Yeah, but The Ring, Samara, the black hair and all that.
I remember the movie. I remember Insidious. That's what it was. That's
you
what
said that though. That was your first.
Did I say
first
that?
movie you said? Yeah. Yeah.
It was brought up a little bit during the zombie convo, and then we said we would put it till next week, but then we forgot that we were going to have this.
No, yeah, because the kids, Insidious, yeah, because it does. The kid gets possessed.
You can't talk about Insidious and not mention Sinister. I think Sinister is, as far as like the kids being possessed, I say Sinister is worse. I think Sinister, I would rather, I don't want to watch Sinister again because I don't want to see what happened to them families happen again. I can watch Insidious again. I can handle that. I think Sinister is way worse. But in Sinister, the children are also possessed, and it's a rough one. Yeah.
Yeah. Haven't seen it. Won't see it. Nope.
I saw Sinister in college on my little 19-inch TV on a bootleg DVD that I got. I think it was from the hair salon that was by the M&M store.
I know the area.
Okay, yeah, that was like a deep.
There's a barbershop over there too.
I think they were.
You talking about that little shopping center?
Off Lee Street.
So.
Yeah, off Lee Street.
So were they doing hair in there when I was in school? I don't know. I was in there and there were women in there too. But yeah, I bought a bootleg from that place of Sinister and I watched it on my little tiny TV in my room and I was not okay.
Oh man.
I was
like those, it doesn't, that's the thing with a horror movie. It doesn't really matter the picture quality of it. Like if it's a good horror movie, it's gonna get you.
Yeah, it definitely got me. Sinister is up there.
The little twins and The Shining.
Yeah, those are creepy.
Dresses.
Yeah, definitely creepy. They are definitely up there with the creepy. I think there's kids in Hereditary, but I hadn't seen that movie.
You need to watch Hereditary. The time is now. That was a great movie. There are kids in Hereditary, and yeah, the little girl in Hereditary.
I haven't seen it, but my brother says his recommendation is don't go into any tree houses.
I wouldn't even say that.
Okay. I wouldn't plan on going in the tree houses anytime soon. I think Paranormal Activity 3, I think that's a prequel to the first one.
Yeah.
Because I think the little girl is the girl from the first movie. Grown up. I think.
Grown up? I don't remember the names. But I know they do a lot of time jumping in the Paranormal Activity franchise. I think there's like 6 movies.
They went on a tangent.
Yeah.
The third one was the last one I watched, I believe. And I think there was one that was in Mexico.
That's a good one.
I think that's 4.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not 4.
Oh, how are we going to talk about this? Are we not mentioning the Conjuring 1, Conjuring 2, Annabelle 1, Annabelle 2?
Conjuring,
that whole franchise is
that franchise is that's, and part of it too is that it's based on true stories.
That's what makes it scary. Also, the Curse of La Llorona, the Mexican, I shouldn't say that she's Mexican. I think she goes across many Hispanic countries. But the Curse of the woman who snatches kids, that was a good one. And that's a part of that franchise too. You don't realize it until, I just told y'all, my bad. But yeah.
Spoilers.
But I would argue that Conjuring 2 with the little girl that I think they're in the UK and she was, that's the best one. Between that and I want to say it's the first Annabelle where it was the girls in the orphanage or something, like all the little girls, and But Conjuring 2, where it's just one kid and her mom, that was a good one. Trying to think of that. There's so many crazy kid movies.
Yeah, I just Googled some. Did y'all see The Orphanage?
Nope, didn't see The Orphanage.
Apparently that's got
Is it a foreign film?
Good question. Let me see.
Yeah, no, because them foreign films hit different.
The Orphanage.
There's a film.
Thomas. I don't know if he's.
And we just hit the 2-hour mark, so we probably can start to wrap this episode up.
There's just so many films. But yeah, I wanted to bring that topic today because children are, in my opinion, like a steady theme in horror films. There aren't too many horror films that don't have a mention of children or birth or parenthood in some way, shape, or form. It exists through all of them. So, yeah.
Yeah. Orphanage was a Spanish film, Spanish horror.
Oh, yeah. So that's probably really good. But yeah. All right. So that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us again. Once again on this 15th episode of the Cookout.
Yes.
15,
Tomorrow we're switch things up a little bit. There won't be an Aftercraft episode tomorrow night after the finale. We are going to move that episode to Monday at 8 p.m. So definitely tune in for that because we're going to have a long discussion not only about that episode but the season as a whole. We're going to break down the season finale, and then just talk to you guys about our thoughts on the full season, how it went, and everything like that. We should have, I think, Lou said he was going to join for that stream. JBM, I believe you're still tentative.
Yeah, tentative, leaning toward absentee.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, it'll be a live packed episode. So definitely tune in for that on Monday night at 8 p.m. And then Wednesday we'll have another episode of Starlight Beacon. We'll be doing episode 6. If you haven't seen the previous episode, go check that out as well. We covered episodes 4 and 5 of The Mandalorian. So we will be doing episode 6 on this upcoming Wednesday. So check that out. Tune in. We'll be doing some breakdowns of the scenes and the plot and all of that good stuff as we get geared up for season 2 of The Mandalorian dropping. There's also going to be a season 2 story trailer dropping during Monday Night Football at 8 p.m. during the 8 o'clock game for The Mandalorian. So I will probably do a reaction video that night live. So tune in for that. It'll probably be after our Aftercraft stream. I'm not going to watch it. It'll be my first time seeing the trailer when I watch it. So I'll do it live. I'll react, and that video will be available. What else?
Next week's community discussion is demonic, religious, spiritual horror film thing. Anything from The Grudge to The Exorcist, The Omen, all that jazz.
Yeah, possession. I think so. Cool. So we diving into the spiritual horror. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that.
Honorable mention for kid films is The Orphan. That's the one where the little girl wasn't a little girl, but we thought she was a little girl.
She had a growth stunt problem.
Growth stunt problem.
You ever seen that? That's a good one.
The Orphan? I hadn't seen The Orphan.
I don't watch those type of movies.
The Orphan is not a little kid being possessed by someone, so you will be okay to watch that one.
Oh, I'm good. Okay.
Yeah, cool. I promise you're fine. No one is being possessed in this film.
All right.
Also, it's voting season, so
yeah, make sure you go out and vote,
do
please.
your civic duty.
Vote.
Vote.
Make sure no naked ballots. I'm sick and tired of seeing these celebrities topless on my Instagram. So please make sure you put your ballot in the first envelope, seal it up, and then put it in the second envelope so that we don't have to see naked people on TV anymore. Okay.
Yeah. If you're doing your mail-in ballot, make sure you seal it and correctly follow the instructions.
Yeah, read
the mail-in form.
Yeah.
Get your ballot in on time. Cast your vote. And if you're doing it in person, please be as protected as you can. Wear a mask, gloves. Put on a bubble outfit if you got one out. Whatever. Just be safe. Be safe, people.
Yes. Please follow us on Instagram, Twitter, like us on Facebook. Shout out to everyone who messages all day about gumbo recipes on Facebook. I ain't got them, but I appreciate those comments from people who just search the word gumbo on Facebook and we pop up and they ask me how to make it. Well, they ask us how to make it, and I politely let them know that I have no recipes. But if I come across one, I will let them know.
Hey, send them our YouTube URL. Tell them that's the recipe is there.
Right.
We got 15 episodes of recipes.
We got 15 episodes. Yes, sir. We got 15 episodes of recipes for you.
Yeah, it's a good pivot right there.
15 episodes, a unique flavor.
Now, I will say some of these people have also had MAGA on their bios because they're not looking at the page at all. They're seeing the word gumbo and they're sending us a message. So if I send these people these links, we're going to be inviting some stuff.
That's their problem.
I'm going to do it anyway.
Right. It's all good.
That's their problem.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, thank you all once again for joining.
Yes,
make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this with your friends. If people would like this type of content, you enjoy this content, please share it. They can always leave a comment on the video after it has been posted, and we will address it in the following episode. Join us on Discord. There is a link if you're not in the Discord. We have conversations all the time about these topics and more. So make sure I'm going to put a link into the chat. There it is. Follow us, join the Discord, and we will see you on the next episode. Peace, love, and blessings, everybody.